Hi, I'm Betsy Weber, and with me today I have a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Dirk Frazier.
And what do you do at TechSmith?
I'm the product manager for both Jing and Screencast.com.
Okay, so an interesting fact I heard about you. Where were you born?
I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, a long time ago. My dad was a Marine Corps fighter pilot at the time and was putting his service in and lived there for, I don't know, about maybe 3 months before we came back to the mainland. So I was born there, but I'm not a Hawaiian per se.
Gotcha. So I think you might be the only TechSmithy born in Hawaii.
Wow.
I think you have that claim to fame.
Awesome.
All right, and you've been in the Lansing area for
17 years. 1993. I came out of here. I came here from California. Worked for a small high-tech startup company that got bought by a plastics company that was headquartered here in Lansing. And I made the switch to run their paint lab in the day. And so I moved from California to Lansing, Michigan then.
Very cool. And so your history, you're a techie, right? I mean, you have some development experience.
I know just enough to be dangerous, I guess they say, especially the devs on my teams. Sometimes I think I bug them too much with what I think is important. But no, I did a little bit of programming a little while ago and database application development, things like that. So I'm not completely unfamiliar with computers.
You've used them before.
Yeah.
So, like many other TechSmithies, you've done a variety of roles at TechSmith. What else have you done here?
Well, I started out as the Moray sales consultant the day that Moray was launched, which was an exciting time, to be a new employee at TechSmith. And they were small then, I think a little over 50 people at the time.
Yeah.
Pretty small. And they gave me a phone and a laptop and said, have at it. Oh, and a conference room as my office. That was fun. So from there, it just went uphill, I guess.
All right. So what is your typical day like now that you're the Jing and Screencast product manager?
Well, it varies a lot, obviously, but at different times of the development cycle, we're doing things like planning, or we're looking at, longer term road mapping and strategy, developing things like that. I love reading customer feedback, and I spend a lot of time digging through that and, looking at things online to get a feel for what people are doing with the products. I'd love to be able to get out more and talk physically with people. I try to talk to folks on the phone as much as I can, but trade shows are really where I get my most benefit, and the most fun really is in getting out and talking with people in that regard. And hopefully this year I'll be able to do more of that.
Yeah, you're usually out at a couple every year, so people can find you.
Yeah, March I'll be going out to South by Southwest for the first time. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
In Austin, yep. March, April is Pasadena, and I think that's Tech Ed. And then in May I'll be doing Web 2.0 in San Francisco, my favorite time.
Good. Yeah, that's
Next
right,
to
your
Lansing,
favorite time. Yes, a little better weather out there right now.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let's talk about a feature, if you will, in Jing.
Okay.
Jing has a 5-minute limit.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share with me the history of why and what that's all about? Because we do get a lot of questions.
It's the number one,
Five?
it's the number one commented on, if not outright requested, feature to be improved on is the 5-minute limit. And I guess, it's important to understand really where Jing came from and who created Jing and why they created Jing. And it was really a bunch of developers here at TechSmith that were sitting around trying to communicate their ideas with each other. And as they were sharing, bits of code or design ideas and their thoughts and concepts, they needed a way to quickly and easily do that. And so taking a quick snapshot on their screen and sending that content to some place that was centrally located and then getting a link back that you could then paste in an IM or an email or whatever was really the workflow and the intent. When we decided to make it a product, of course, the question came, how long do we let people record, this content? Is it something that we'll just let go forever and ever? And in the very beginning, the content that was created was Swift content. Swift video, basically. And there was a technological limitation on the number of frames that you can pack into a Swift video. And so they made the arbitrary decision to stop the recording time at 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And, the feeling was if you can't convince or, convey your thoughts and comments in less than 5 minutes,
Yeah.
it probably needed a different venue. You didn't want to do it that way. You wanted to get a meeting together or something like that.
And it produces really fast and...
Right. Well, the whole idea of Jing specifically is that this encoding process, this creating of the video is happening in real time as you're doing it. You don't have to send it somewhere else to be re-encoded.
Yeah.
There's no post-production process that you have to go through. And so it was really a very arbitrary value that had more to do with just putting a limit on the size of the SWIFT files that could be created and the number of frames that were being packed than anything else. When we went to MPEG-4 in the Pro version, that limitation just stayed. It wasn't, we didn't feel the need to take it off per se. And again, with the original intent of Jing as being something that was to share quick thoughts and concepts, not produce tutorial videos or anything like that.
Yeah.
We felt, pretty reasonably justified in doing that. Now, of course, we've got a lot of feedback from people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've paid for the Pro version. Why don't I get more than 5 minutes recording time? And, we're really looking at the pros and cons about what we have to do to take that limitation off or to put a different limitation on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into, obviously, some very broad product strategy discussions that are taking place. So I can't say for sure what our final decision will be, but we're definitely listening to people and we're not ignoring.
So at this point, you really need to gather the information and you need to hear users' feedback and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, I try to engage whenever somebody says, how come you don't, give me more than 5 minutes? I'll immediately respond back and say, well, what are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish? If you're trying to create a tutorial video, you're trying to record 15 or 20 or 30 minutes of a classroom, we have tools for that already for you to use. And if those tools aren't meeting your needs for some reason, if it too expensive or doesn't have the features that you want, then we'll listen to those bits of feedback as well, because maybe there is something else that we can do in a different space. But for the most part, we are here and we are listening, and we're not just ignoring all the feedback that's coming in.
So keep the feedback coming. Not only let Dirk know what you want, but also why you want it as well.
Right, absolutely, because we're all about trying to understand the workflow of the consumer, people that are using our products.
Perfect. All right, I think that's all my questions for you. Do you want to talk about KU, Kansas at all? Oh,
absolutely. Rock Chalk, Jayhawks all the way this year especially. Can't wait. You guys took it to us last year, that was for sure. Twice in a row.
Michigan
Once
State?
On my birthday. Yeah, thanks very much at the Breslin Center. But anyway.
Yeah, that was our gift to you.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that.
And you went to Kansas for college?
Yep,
right?
I'm a graduate, 87, and second generation graduate actually, so pretty excited about KU, but I love my Spartans too.
Okay, I'm glad.
Go green.
We can still be friends.
Yes,
okay,
as long as you're not a U of M fan.
No, Michigan State all the way.
Okay, good, yeah, go green.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and be sure to send Dirk your feedback.
Thank you.